Alright, ladies and gentlemen, folks and fans of Dota 2, welcome to the Weekly Stampede Volume 1. I'm Vash and I'm going to be your host for the Weekly Stampede. It's going to be a news show revolving around the Dota 2 scene about general coverage, about general roster changes, patch notes, that kind of stuff. Whatever comes into my mind, you're going to be getting on this show. It's going to happen every 1.5 to 2 weeks and I hope you're going to enjoy it. We're going to dive in right straight into new news because there's a lot to cover. And we're going to try to make it as short as possible. We have roster changes. Virtus Pro actually has added their 5th core player, finally finalized that lineup. It's going to be Solo, who has been playing for Rock's Kiss in the recent 1 to 2 weeks again after his betting scandal. And he's actually going to be playing the offlane for Virtus Pro. We will see how he's going to be doing while playing the offlane, because he has been playing solo mid for quite a while now. But, I mean, he has talent, so he's going to be fine. He's going to finish the core lineup around God, Ars Art, NS, and Light of Heaven. So we will see how strong they're going to be. Name-wise, they are strong for sure. Next team is Rock's Kiss. Rock's Kiss has finalized their lineup as well now. It's going to be Goblik and Resolution joining them. Goblik, obviously a captain support who changes the meta on a, some people say, monthly basis, is going to be added to the lineup of Rock's Kiss. Resolution as well. This is perfect. Y'all and Cedo are going to complete the lineup as well. So looks like a pretty strong team as well. And last but not least, there is a sponsor picking up a team, and they're going to pick up Flipside Quantic, the old team which has been revolving around Mania and Miguel. Mania retired. For him, Pass is going to be added to the lineup. Going to be playing with his old friend Fata, who have been playing mouse sports before. And they're going to be Sigma In. That's the new name of this team, with fucking Mad, Miguel, and Shoksha as well. That's about it regarding roster changes and shuffles. Next big issue is for sure that Career is out of the beta, and the big question everybody has is right now, are the people from Career gonna make a swing to Dota 2 or not? Because it's a League of Legends and StarCraft 2 based community, and if it's gonna be enough to actually persuade people and sponsors to invest into the Dota 2 scene, we will see. Definitely something I hope that's going to be happening, because as more movement there is in the Asian scene as well, and the more movement there is generally in the scene, the better it is for Dota overall. Next, we have a few leaks that have been going on and have been completed, prize pools given out and everything. So Nintolic Pro League, one of them, they have finished the Haze Cup. And Fnatic claimed $1,000 for that. It claimed also 100 points in their league format. It's going to be five cups overall, so 4 more cups, and it's just seeding purposes overall point wise. But you can earn the $1,000 in every single cup, so that's something teams are looking forward to. And Fnatic, congratulations to them winning the first cup. Next, we have Big Point Battle 9. Okay, people might say, yeah, Vash, are you kidding me? That's not a serious tournament. Well, I'm going to tell you, it sort of is. It's 1,500 euros. First place takes it all. And there are always some bigger teams that enter here and there and play and try to grab them some easy money. So in this case, it was Empire Speed, Super Strong Dinosaurs competing, as well as Four Friends and Shrillet. This case, Super Strong Dinosaurs won the 1,500 euros, and they're a team revolving around the All-Star team. Come with me, Rise, Sexy Bamboo, Sneaking. So all those people have been kicked out of their previous rosters and were sort of up for grabs. Oh, Mini, by the way, Mini. I think he's doing the drafting. So a strong team, and they took their first victory and grabbed themselves 1,500 euros. Next is the WePlay playoffs. They have finished more or less. We are in the finals now. Empire has taken the 4th spot. They came out short against Liquid. Liquid has to play Na'Vi, who in turn have been taken out by Alliance in the winner bracket final. So Alliance already has $6,000 secured for themselves. If they win, they're going to get 13,000. So we're going to see how that's going to turn out. Definitely a best of 5 final we have to look forward to. Either Liquid or Na'Vi going to go up against Alliance. Next would be Fragbite and Dota 2 Champions League. Both have kicked off. Fragbite, a prize pool of around $30,000. Then we have Dota 2 Champions League, hosted by Navi Gaming, I believe. They are having a prize pool of $50,000, and they're having an interesting format. It feels like it's almost a Champions League of soccer. They're having games every now and then, really rarely that you see a lot of games, and therefore you almost have the feeling like it's some sort of higher league, like in soccer, the Champions League, which only happens every 2 weeks. More, I kind of dig it, I have to say. I think I watched almost every single game so far, and it's surprising thing is that actually Navi has dropped a few games already. Next would be the ACE League. They are halfway through their league, and it's, I realize it's only for seeding purposes, and I guess only 2 get kicked out because top 6 teams make it into the playoffs. But yeah, that's a big issue for sure. For LGD, for example, they're fighting hard. They're in 7th place right now. They have another half of this league to get to the 6th place. We will see where they're going to be able to qualify or not. Other than that, interesting to note that DK has lost their first game since the end of International, and that is about 2.5 months of win streak. Quite impressive in my opinion. They dropped a game, or I guess 2 games, a match. They dropped it to Tongfu, so that's interesting to see that DK can still lose games. And in addition to that, IG looking really strong in that league because they are second right after DK, and we'll see how this is going to turn out overall, and who's going to qualify directly for which seeding spot and everything. So yeah. Next would be a rather interesting announcement. Dream League has been announced. Yeah, Dream League, not DreamHack. It's quite interesting because everybody was anticipating DreamHack, and DreamHack is one of those few tournaments in Dota history that has been there consistently and has been regarded as a really prestigious tournament. However, it seems that they want to shuffle something around. It's going to be a league with 6 invited teams. They're going to be battling for $50,000. And the finals are going to be played on the LAN environment of DreamHack. So no typical DreamHack format as far as I'm concerned right now, which is sad. But on the other hand, it's again a league that's starting up, and it's going to be a consistent league that's going to kick off with 12 teams after the DreamHack, battling for $100,000. So it's again a lot of cash flow into the Dota scene. We will see if it's going to be a positive or a negative aspect, having a DreamHack in a changed format. We will see. Sad, but maybe even still something to look forward to. It's going to be a big LAN final regardless. MLG Invitational, next thing comes up into my mind is that Dignitas took the first place and $10,000 in cash prize, which is good for them, obviously. And also in addition to that, they qualified for the MLG Columbus, which is going to be a big LAN final, LAN tournament in general. DK is going to head down there. We're going to have invited teams like Liquid, Navi, Alliance, EG, I do believe, are there as well. Check it out. It's going to be soon, and it's going to be a huge tournament. I'm really pumped for that LAN tournament. Next would be the EMS, Electronic Major Series. They're done with all their playoff groups, and they're going to have the LAN final coming up soon. It's rumored it's going to be sometime around early December. No announcement yet, nothing official, so we will see what's going to happen there. There's one Asian team yet to be announced, and we will see if Take 5 or EG is actually going to go there, because as you guys probably have noticed, that there has been some issue with Take 5, and it's not necessarily a core lineup, it's not a stable lineup. And the question is, are they actually going to travel to Europe to compete in the LAN final or not? If they're not, then EG would step up and would be able to get into this tournament, because they actually lost against Take 5. Whoever didn't check out that best of 5, I heavily recommend checking out game number 5 of that best of 3 series, because that was quite something, I have to say. Next league, and I think the last league I have to talk about here, is the G1 League. They have announced their European qualifier, which is going to be very interesting, which teams are going to be in there. We don't see Navi yet invited to the qualifier overall, so do they have to go through the open qualifier? Maybe, I don't know. Or are they invited directly? Nobody really has a clue right now, but it's going to be an interesting qualifier for a prestigious tournament that has been happening last year as well, where LGD Int actually got into the final and came out short against... Good question. I think it was IG. Wow, that is a long time ago. However, very interesting tournament to come up right there. And that is about it regarding the general tournaments, the roster changes. Next, we're going to talk about the patch and how it impacts the gameplay, the supports, the offlane. I'm not going to talk about the patch in specifics, because I do believe there are enough patch notes out there, enough patch analysis. Luminous has done some, I think Purge has done some, a lot of people have done already in detail 3-hour long changelog analysis. So what I'm going to be talking about is the impact, for example, on the offlane. There has been this huge change that the offlane does meet, or a creep wave meets nearer to your offlane tower, which means therefore that your offlane is in a let's say in a better spot, in a more secure spot, because it's near to your tower. You have that escape mechanism just by walking almost, and you're not bound to die that easily. Also, it's hard to control the creep wave for the opposing carry. You're able to leech a lot of experience, and that's basically good for a lot of support off-lane heroes such as Windrunner, Puck. They are all almost viable again on and off lane. We will see how that's gonna turn out to be, because there's a general impact on supports as well, and a lot of changes in the patch this time. For example, dewarding is being rewarded. You get 50 gold for a deward. That's good for support. They always like 50 gold. I mean, that's huge. Imagine a ward costs 150 gold. Therefore, if you get a third by just dewarding one, you know, it's almost worth the sentry rewards in that case. Plus, you get the map awareness, map presence back. Huge change there. Pulling is not as effective anymore because of the swap of the neutral camp. There is the easy camp right there. If you stack that and pull it, you only get level 2, not level 3 with the first pull if you're solo. So it's not as effective anymore. You don't get as much farm, you don't get as much experience. Plus, an offlane can leech the experience by just standing there, because neutrals are now in this patch sharing the experience no matter who kills them. So again, another big change. Then you have the gold per minute, which has increased to 1 gold per every 0.6 seconds. In contrary to before 0.8 seconds. So you get easy money by just standing there. You get it's less time till you can upgrade a chicken without even farming, etc., etc. That's a huge deal as well. Pooling is not possible anymore, so you don't lose items by pooling your mid laner, for example, and you only did that in the past because the other team did it as well, so everybody just pooled in general. So again, more items for the support coming out of the base in the first minute or the first few seconds. And the last big change I think that has happened is that smoke is not being revealed anymore. So therefore, smoking and killing is way easier right now. It's not detectable anymore, and just pops out when you're in the range of the person and or dispels, I guess. And overall, that means that supports get easy money. They don't need to pull anymore because it's not as effective. There's no need to do it to be effective overall with farm, with experience. And therefore, dual lanes will have a rise again. Maybe roaming squads will have a rise again. I mean, smoke is a really strong item nowadays. And if you get the kills, you get money. It's basically as effective as pulling is, or even more effective right now if you get the kills off. Dual lanes are going to be really strong because you get that leech experience. You can split them way better than on a tri lane where your supports are always lacking that experience, and therefore we're going to have some huge impact on the general gameplay as well, because I mean, dual lanes and roaming squads, man, that's crazy. Just yesterday I saw Kunkka with the dagger and arcane boots basically raping through the game. I think it was Mouseboards and Crit who played the Kunkka with the Crystal Maiden behind him, and they were just roaming the map 24/7 everywhere. And that kind of stuff is what I'm suspecting to see even more now. We already see that happening right now. General gameplay, I guess the Roshan respawn timer is a big thing right there. It's going to be a random time between 8 and 11 minutes that he's going to respawn after being taken the first time. And that means that people can't just rely on their timer anymore. They need to check it out multiple times. Maybe heroes such as Beastmaster with the Scouting Hawk, Visage with the Familiars, Clockwork with the Rocket, etc., etc. Those heroes might have a little bit more value in the draft. I'm not quite sure about that though. In general, people might just take the chances and check out Roshan and try to sneak it, and if it's not there, then they're going to proceed to gank or something. It's definitely going to change the meta or I guess the gameplay to some degree. How that's going to turn out, we will see. Offlaning is going to be easier. I already said that right there. Also means possible dual lanes are going to come out of that because of the creep wave meeting near to your offlane tower. That means other combinations of dual lanes might work out really well because you just get the experience, and it's you know, it just works out well, I guess, overall for dual lanes. Neutral claims, I touched on that already. They're being swapped. The one thing that you have to mention is that, okay, maybe Chen can farm faster if he gets some big pulls off and no mud golems, but other heroes such as, which you don't see anymore anyways, but you know, such as a Naix who goes into the jungle and farms up there, you're not going to see that as often anymore, I do believe, because it's harder to farm for him since the easy camp got swapped to the pull camp. Another big thing is the night-day cycle changed to 4 minutes, no 6 minutes anymore. That means heroes as Night Stalker might have a rise. It generally, you have a quicker pace That's how it feels like, because it changes so often, night and day cycle, and therefore vision gets reduced again and again, and you get it back, and it just feels like it's pacing everything a bit more, and you need to care for the changes more as well. And we'll see if Night Stalker is actually going to make a rise back into the meta. Last but not least, there's a buyback interactions. When you buy back, you don't get any unreliable gold. That's quite huge actually, because for a time where you would have been dead, you just can't farm. So buybacking for farming doesn't matter anymore. You need to really care where you buy back. And plus, when you buy back, 25% of the respawn time you just saved yourself from are going to be added to the next time you're dead. So for example, take late game scenario where somebody is dead for 90 seconds and you buy back. Well, those 90 seconds are going to be added to the next death. Imagine being out of the game for a total of 3 minutes. That's freaking crazy. So yeah, definitely a big change there. Coming back to the night-day cycle, that's going to be our next topic here, and the last topic basically. It's going to be meta trends. Where does the meta go right now? What heroes are being picked up more than before, and how does it look statistic-wise? And I'm just going to touch on 2 heroes here in this episode. It's going to be Night Stalker for one. He has been picked up 28 games already, and we have about a total of 100 games being played on a pro level, competitive level in leagues and tournaments thus far, and that's about the last 5 or 6 days, I do believe. So 28 games is quite a lot of 100 overall games, and he's being banned out here and there as well. So he's definitely making his way back into the picks. But here's the big thing: he only has a 39 win percentage. And here's my question right now. Do people just lane him wrong? Are they experimenting too much? What is the issue of Night Stalker not being that strong, even though the night-day cycle has actually changed to 4 minutes? Now, I do believe right now that teams are just experimenting a lot with him. I have seen him on an off lane. I have seen him on a safe lane carry. I have seen him on the mid lane. I even have seen him on a support in 1 or 2 games. So people are just experimenting a lot with Night Stalker right now. And in addition to that, Night Stalker is not a new hero at all, so people know how to play around him. We do have the general tendency of Dota manning up to 4 to 5 man Dota after 10 to 14 minutes, where people have their core items up, just items like a mechanism, and then they can just group up and fight if they think they have the advantage. And in that case, Night Stalker does get a little bit weaker. I also do believe the first night is not the best night for a Night Stalker. 4 minutes barely is enough to farm your boots, or to farm in general. Maybe something like an urn, which was something some Night Stalkers were able to farm in 6 minutes. And therefore, the first night, Night Stalker is not as fat, not as scary level-wise as well. So the second night is what it comes down to. Until then, he can maybe be controlled in mid lane. I've seen dual lanes right now coming out of some games, such as Speed Gaming. They just put another hero there, and Night Stalker doesn't get anything. So yeah, it's still rough for Night Stalker, but once teams have figured it out, I do believe he's going to be picked more for sure than in the last patch, and he's going to be a pick that's going to be a situational pick, picking it up once in a while just to disrupt the game flow, to create havoc and chaos, just like Pudge was, or Pudge is still. So that's what I do suspect that's going to happen. But very interesting in my mind is that he has been picked up a lot, but has only a 38 to 39 win percentage. Lich is the next and last hero I'm going to talk today about, and it's going to be the topic of him being picked up quite a lot as well, and being perma-banned, our first pick almost in every draft. Almost feels like he's the new Bad Rider, sort of. And I mean, 28 games picked up in 100 games, and being banned a lot in all the other games, that means quite something. And right now, he has a really high win percentage as well. I think it's actually 31 games picked, whatever. It's roughly 30 games being picked. And it's 58 win percentage right now for Lich, so that's really high. It's working out well. Teams like to play him, and he seems to work out especially well on a tri-lane, simply because of the sacrifice change. And right now, if you have a tri-lane and you zone out the off-lane, and you don't have an aggressive tri-lane against you, if you use sacrifice, you're gonna get the experience on your carry as well. So that is a change that does seem to favor Lich as well as the last patch where we had the chain frost bounces increased, etc., etc. So overall, Lich seems to be viable as long as you have that second support, like a CM, for example, some hard stun, some hard nuke, coming out as well. And then you have the slow, you have Lich, Nova, and right now people don't necessarily seem to be able to play against it when he's in the tri lane. And I do believe people still have to figure out how to play against Lich, and he will slip out of the first ban and first picks for sure at some point. But right now, just people don't want to bother about it, are not experimenting a lot with it. And I do believe maybe one solution might be just going really aggressive and hard against the Lich, picking something like an Undying, dropping that Tombstone. I mean, Lich on level 1 is super weak if he's skilled Sacrifice. If you put an aggressive tri-lane against your Lich, or against that Lich tri-lane, you definitely have an advantage right there on level 1. If you get the advantage early on, you're going to keep it, you're going to be able to push more, you're going to be able to drop the Undying Tombstone, have the second support drop maybe a stun or a nuke and a really strong core hero, like for example a Nyx. So I do believe people are going to figure it out at some point, and right now Lich being a top tier pick, winning a lot of games, and that's just a random another fact I'd like to bring to you. And that's actually it for this volume. I hope you enjoyed it thus far, and I have to say, whatever criticism you have, just personal message me on YouTube or even comment on the section below. I will read I will read all comments for sure. If you want to see something else, if you have any suggestions, just comment, bring them to me. I'll try to get them in. This is my first volume, therefore it's bound to be a lot of stuff to improve on. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in, and if you want to be posted with the next volumes, just subscribe on YouTube or something similar. And that is about it. Have a great day.